Everyone, it's Sammy from Scrapmaster's Paradise, and today is week 8 of Project Life. I've got a bunch of photos, but some of these are 4x6s. I do plan on scrapbooking some of these in the traditional way. I also have already made one page using some of the 4x6 photos. I used the March Freckled Fawn kit for this one, and I will leave a link to that blog post in the description box down below. So to get started on today's layout, I go ahead and grab my last white 12x12 cardstock, and I wanted to get this layout done today, so I ended up using some other colored cardstocks that I have. I end up not using a bunch of my colored 12x12 cardstock, so I think what I plan on doing is using them up as the backer sheets for these Project Life spreads. I still have out all of my love themed items, so I'm just pulling cards from this stack. They're not all love themed, so they'll still work on a lot of these layouts. I had a lot of 4x6s this week, and I just limited my traditional layouts to just a couple, so I am adding a lot of these 4x6s down to the page. After I picked my journaling cards, I go ahead and attach everything down to the cardstock. I'm still working on using up these Echo Park alphas. On this first card, I'm just going to write "at the park." Then I pulled out my little iris container that contains all of my summary type of items. I wanted to use some of these clouds since a lot of these photos are outdoor photos for the first couple of pages. I had to go ahead and refill my ATG gun, and so I could attach the cloud down. Go ahead and attach another cloud to the bottom card. These clouds are old Freckled Fawn items. I also added a little printed chipboard flower. I don't know where this one came from. It just happened to be in my stash. And I am just not really in the mood to scrapbook this today. You'll see my layouts this week are super duper simple. Basically, I'm just sticking everything down, adding journaling cards, adding very, very minimal embellishments. I was just not really in the mood to scrapbook, but I wanted it done, and so I just went ahead and did it. It's funny because after this, all I want to do is do some more scrapbooking, so it must have gotten something going. Anyway, I'm left with the 5x5 photo and then a 4x6, and what I thought was I would do each one of those on a separate page and scrapbook just single photos. And then I totally forgot about that layout that I had already made for this week. I didn't leave a space for it, so I'm either going to scrapbook both of those photos onto one layout, or I'm going to have to move things around like I did last week. I've got to get better about leaving the proper spaces because I am scrapbooking back to back. So if I miss a page and have to go back, I end up having to rip things off. Last week it was surprisingly easy to correct my mistake, and I'm sure it would be this week too. I've just got to make up my mind about what I'm going to do with those two photos. So for this next page, I've got all my photos arranged. I just have to pick out a couple of cards to fill the two spots. On the journaling card in the middle, I'm just writing out Muddy Adventure because it was definitely a muddy adventure. We went to a park called Zilker Park in Austin, and it was after a couple of rainy days, and there were just puddles everywhere. We were definitely not expecting that, but Olivia had so much fun jumping in the puddles, so it was definitely super muddy. Also just added a little cloud to that same card. This is also a Freckled Fawn item from the past. So now I'm just going to get everything attached down to my 12x12 cardstock and call this page done. Like I said, I'm keeping them really simple this week. And you know what? That's absolutely okay. I'm just really happy that I got it done. At the end of the day, that's what's important to me, is having the books and having the pages as complete as possible. I'm still having to go back and do some older layouts, but I've really tried hard to stay caught up for this year. So now I'm moving on to my next page, and I did run out of white cardstock, so this is going to be on a green cardstock, and you'll see there's a little bit of green showing through on some of the edges in between cards, so I really don't like this nearly as much as I like just the white cardstock as the backer. But I figured since I have all this colored cardstock that's just been in my stash for years, I might as well just use what I've got before I go buy more white cardstock. After I picked out my two journaling cards, I get everything attached down to my 12x12 paper. And so it really doesn't get any simpler than this. I add one wood veneer and I call this page done. This is just an old Freckled Fawn item. I attached it down with some Tombow glue, so I have to hold it down to make sure that it sticks. Then I go ahead and start my next page right on the back of the green cardstock. I finally get a chance to use this Hello Goodbye card from Elle's studio, and this is marking a very special occasion. Olivia stopped taking naps recently, and so we switched over to what I'm calling quiet time, where she gets to play with books and toys in her crib for a little while. So she just has some downtime during the day, and so far she's taken naps maybe like, I don't know, a quarter of the time, but we're calling it quiet time. So I'm saying goodbye naps, hello quiet time. And I'm just trying to use up more of those Echo Park alphas. And next I just get everything attached down to my 12 by 12 cardstock, and I'll show you up close at the end of attaching all of this. You can really see some of the green cardstock showing through. So I don't really like seeing the other colors through it, but I'm just going to go with it so I can use up what I've already got. I just set a stack of just random colored cardstock on my desk, so they're just going to be in a random assortment. The next one is going to be yellow. So I just go ahead and work on getting my photos arranged. On this black and white card, I'm just writing "You love macarons" because it goes with the photo right next to it. And for this top card, I'm just spelling out churros, and then I'm going to write out "for dessert." Now for embellishing, I don't have anything that looks like a churro or a macaron right now, so I just add a little purple donut because it matches the card. I go ahead and get everything attached down to cardstock, and then I have some 4x6s of Olivia eating the macarons that I plan on traditionally scrapbooking, so they will go on the back of this yellow cardstock. And so I go ahead and move on to my next piece of cardstock, which is also yellow. These are all just house photo collages, so I'm just going to spread them all out and add my ATG onto them, and then just attach them right down to the cardstock. Once I got all the house photos attached down, I flip over this cardstock and start working directly on the back side of it. On this blue map card, I want to write jump, so I pull out the March Freckled Fawn alphas. These came in the monthly kit, and they're actually in the embellishment kit and the planner kit this month. I'm just spelling out the word jump because Olivia's jumping in those photos. I go ahead and get everything attached down to my cardstock. Then I decide to do a little bit of journaling on the top card. I felt like the map card needed a little something, so I added some black puffy hearts. These are from Freckled Fawn, and they are available in a few different varieties in the store. And then I just called that page done. Now I'm moving on to what will be my last page. I've got 8 different photos here, so I will fill the rest in with journaling cards. I go ahead and work on getting everything attached down, and my camera battery ends up dying, so I cut the footage a little bit for this part. Once I got everything attached down, I go ahead and do some embellishing. I have this really pretty transparency title that just says "Today." I stick it over the top area on these photos. And somebody had mentioned one thing they like about the way I scrapbook my project life while sticking it all down to the cardstock is that you can put things across different cards, which you can't really do with the pocket protectors unless you stick it on the outside of the protector. That's just one of the added benefits that somebody else had mentioned. I didn't even think about it, but I do end up using some things going across various journaling cards and photos. I decided to add a couple of other hearts to the open journaling cards. Both of these are Freckled Fawn items from various kits. And then I called this page done, so I am proud to announce that I have January completely done, including all the traditional layouts. So later this week, I plan on having a January walkthrough for you guys, showing you guys the entire month. I hope you guys will stick around for that. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying these videos, and subscribe so you can follow me along and you don't miss any of my videos. And I will have week 9 for you guys next week. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.